Hello tiny house people and off-grid folk. I've just come in from outside. It's freezing cold and unbelievably windy, hard to get any work done. My stuff's blowing around all over the place. So I'm going to light the fire early tonight, and I just thought I haven't had a chance yet to actually show people how to set a quick fire. And it's a 2-minute job, it's dead easy. Make sure that the grate is clean from the last fire. Open up your vents on the fire so that when you close the door it's getting a good rush of air. If you've got any secondary vents from underneath, open those as well so that the fire is going to get all the air it can. Then you'll need a local newspaper, tabloid type of newspaper. Get a couple of sheets of that and just screw them up lightly like this. Put those in. Fish and chip papers from last night. We'll put one more sheet in, so it's 2 sheets of newspaper and the fish and chip papers. We put some pine cones if you've got them. I'm lucky, I've got a stand of pine trees outside that in windy weather like this are always dropping their guts, and it needs to be picked up. So a good healthy bit of pine cones on there. I pulled down an old shed. There was some rotten timber in the old shed, so I've cut that up for kindling. When you've got a bit of land and a few buildings, there's always a bit of stuff lying around. So there we go. We've put this in, we're packing it loosely, the paper's on the bottom, and then we've got the pine cones which are dry and open and ready to burn, and a few pieces of kindling stacked around the outside. Don't put them across like this, stack them up, because the flames like to travel up things and it will catch and burn a lot faster if you build yourself a little wooden teepee. And then it's a simple matter of just lighting. Hello? Oh yeah. Oh well, it's a simple matter of lighting the gas match off the stove over here, transferring the flame to here, and lighting the fire in a couple of places. Transferring the flame over, lighting the fire in a couple of places so that it gets a... There we go. Now because I've got the vents open, when I close the door that's really going to start pulling. So we'll do that, and don't touch anything. Leave it for 2 or 3 minutes, and by the time you can see glowing red embers, then it's hot enough to add the next few pieces. Don't attempt to put a log on just yet. Wait until you've got a bed of ash to put the log on, so it'll be 15 or 20 minutes until we can put a log on here. But we've got a fire going that's going to be putting out heat in, what was that, under 2 minutes. Just started to take now. We'll check back in a couple of minutes. As I say, don't touch anything, let it do its thing. Okay, it's now 5 minutes since I've lit this. The heat's belting off it. We'll open it up and you'll see that we've got a significant ember bed from the pine cones, and the hardwood kindling is taken well, burning along its full length. I still wouldn't touch it at this stage. Leave it for another 5 minutes or so until that kindling burns right through and drops. When it drops, you can just go hard, throw on pretty much whatever you like, because the fire's away and it's going to go for the rest of the night. Always a good idea to burn a mixture of timbers, hardwoods and softwoods. Hardwoods, if you're buying it, will cost you more. Hardwoods, if you're cutting it, will take longer to cut, take more effort, and will be a little bit harder on your saw. But it's well worth putting hardwood in your fire. Softwoods, they burn easily, they burn quickly, they dry faster, but they don't put out the heat that hardwoods do. A nice mix is a good way of getting through all of the scrap wood that you'll find around your property. Or even if you buy it, buy a mixed trailer load. There's nothing wrong with a bit of pine so long as it's put on top of a good bed of hardwood. You'll get these things to burn through the night with a few lumps of coal. Well, it's a few lumps. You'll get these things to burn through the night with a scoop of coal and some hardwood. You can cook on top of them. Here I've got a trivet, and a trivet is, once you've boiled your kettle, you can just keep it warm by putting it on a trivet. That'll stop the direct heat and it'll stop it boiling the water away, but still mean that you've got hot water when you need it. Okay, it's now 10 minutes since I lit the fire. These pieces that we stacked up like a teepee are starting to curl over and fall down. It's about now that you can put pretty much anything on here that you want, and close all of the vents to slow the fire down and give you a good long burn. Because I'm always trimming the trees around here, I've got lots of this size stuff from just branches rather than huge chunks. Because my fires are reasonably small, I find that these are fine. So we'll put 4 of those on, close the vents. That will slow the burn right down. There we go. The flames are now rolling a lot slower because the air admission has slowed right down. Just grab the camera, show you what I mean. Right, things in here have slowed right down. We haven't got those roaring, fierce flames. We've got a slow lick. Okay, so that is going to now go for several hours without me having to worry about it. So I can now start organising dinner and getting something cooking on the top. This has been TinyHouse Offgrid Resources. Thanks for hanging out with me for 10 minutes and having a look at how the fire goes. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and why not subscribe to the channel? There's always interesting stuff going on here at TinyHouse Central. See you in the next video. Opening the vents sure brings the thing back to life again. I'll close these vents and you'll see everything start to get quite slow and lazy. There you go. That's what we call a reduction flame. If you're closing the thing down to run overnight, that's what you do. But then if you're cooking and you want to heat something up really fast, open up your vents, and in just 10 or 15 seconds, you're back to a roaring fire again. These fires are so controllable. And we'll just knock it down again. Closing the upper and the lower vents. There you go. And you'll see it just starts to go back to where it was. Just a nice little rolling simmer. There we are. It's 30 minutes after lighting the fire, and we've got just loveliness happening in there. Absolute loveliness.